I want to welcome everyone here because, you know, it's a great honor that we started this program 3 years ago to really honor living veterans, because one of my first official duties when I became county executive back in 2012 was to honor deceased veterans. And being a veteran myself, it was hard because I've always stayed away from that stuff. You know, we do our own things as veterans, and so it was difficult. Though it was an exciting first day of office, it was a tough one for me. But as I got doing the deceased veterans, I noticed more and more people would be in the audience. And I talked to them, and I'm like, oh, how'd you know the person? They go, well, I really didn't. I met them through the VFW, or they helped me out on this. And what a great person, helped me change my life around. And I'm like, wouldn't that be nice to hear while you're still here? You know, so we kind of started looking at things, and we worked with the different VFWs and looked at how we're doing things. And we said, let's do living veterans to thank them for their service. So that's why we're here today, to honor these three fine gentlemen. Of the 16 million who served in the war, there are just over 697,000 still with us. In New York State, we're just over 10,000 World War II vets in the state, and it's estimated by 2017 there will be just over 6,900. To the greatest generation that ever lived, you know, and to the Patriot Guard, I can't thank you enough what you do constantly for being at all these events, the honor flights. Every time I turn around, you're there. Two things come to mind. I can't thank you enough, and the second is thank God I don't have to pay you because I couldn't afford you, because they really are at everything. But you know, when I look and I go to these different events, and there's a shirt that says, if you're reading this in English, thank a teacher. If you're reading this, thank a teacher, and if it's in English, thank a veteran. It's so true. I mean, over 1.1 million Americans have laid down the ultimate sacrifice for this country, given their life up for our freedoms. And if you think of a population of 330 million Americans in this country, and less than 1% have served, less than 1%. We enjoy every day. We've been at war for 15 years, and most people don't even feel it. We have troops going downrange back in Iraq, still in Afghanistan, and laying their lives on the line. And one of the most alarming things to me as a veteran is the amount of soldiers that are coming back that are committing suicide. You know, it's alarming, 22 a day. And if you figure that out times 365, we're talking over 8,000 veterans. And considering 15 years of war, we've only lost north of 6,000 soldiers, is alarming as all hell. It's our time to give back. It's our time to recognize, to thank veterans, to be there for them as they adjust back into society, to be the shoulder, to be the crutch, to be the shoulder they can lean on. And that's only possible with the people here, but it's also possible by the past veterans that have served, and that's why we're here. So, got ahead of myself. But now I'd like to welcome Carl Keegan of Orange Motors to introduce Ken Bailey, our first honoree, a Bronze Star Friends Legion of Honor Medal winner who served in the U.S. Army during World War II. Carl, who's been the general manager at Orange Ford, I just had the privilege of going up there, served, been around for 100 years, third generation family running it. But in the military, we like to say, in the Army, not the Marine Corps, obviously. Any Marines in the room? In the Army, it's the NCO is the backbone of the military. They get things done. And Carl's been the face of Orange Ford for I want to say 40 years, and he's done a great job. But he's here to introduce our first recipient. So, Carl, please.
I've known Kenny, my God, at least 56, 57 years. I come out of the service in the 50s, and I went to work at Jaeger Pontiac. And Kenny was service manager at Orange Motors. I became service manager at the Chevrolet dealership next door. And Kenny and I stayed friends all them years, and I finally, one day, decided to go to work at Orange Motors. And 45 years ago, I went to work at Orange Motors, still there, still doing my thing, and Kenny comes in regularly to see us. Kenny was probably one of the most respected service managers that ever existed in the city of Albany. I could give you war stories about Kenny that don't involve guns and bayonets, but I don't want to embarrass him. We had a few in Orange Motors over the years. But he worked for the Tuohys, and the Tuohys had so much respect for Ken, I can't even begin to tell you. Kenny went from service manager to salesman to general sales manager. And I've kept close to Ken all them years. I guess what's so interesting right now is that he hasn't given that up. He still comes into Orange Motors at least once a month to see the guys. And Kenny knows all the guys. And I'll tell you, he did a marvelous job working for Orange Motors. So with that, I'd like to introduce Ken. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's your turn, Ken.
I know I'm standing.
Thank you very much.
He's being shy, so I'm gonna stand there with
I'm
him.
always shy. I like to sit in the back when I'm up in
Now,
front.
you should be in the Marine for being bashful, but you're not. All right, good. Thank God.
So anyway, thank you, Carl. Very big surprise. I didn't think this was going to be. Thank you all, my family, my extended family, the firefighters, and I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on, I got something. We have a proclamation in coins from the county recognizing you as a veteran of the day, or the month, so I want to say thank you for your service, Kenny. That's the coins for you. The bomb squad, as an engineer during the war, he was stationed in England for a time and was awarded the Marksman Medal. George, I thank you for your service, and Darlene Tran, who's still writing notes, is going to come over and speak highly of you, I hope, right? Thank you.
It's an honor to be here today. I love when we do our honor of vets, our deceased veterans, and it's just amazing to see the people that come out. Our World War II generation is so humble that they're still saying we don't deserve to be honored, and that's what it's about. They didn't do it to be honored. They did it because there was a need. They needed to protect our country, and they did that. And when they came home, they still protected us by building the greatest generation of industry that we have. If it wasn't for what World War II did today we wouldn't have what we have. And they still continue to do that. You have people that are absolutely amazing at 90, let's see, what are we going to be, 95, Ken? And we have 93 over here. And it's just, if you ever get to know them, come and meet them. They are absolutely amazing people. And George is as amazing as all of them, because each and every one of them are individual. George joined in 1943. At 19 years old, he went to boot camp. He likes to say on his birthday, April 12, 1923, he was born, and in 1945, President Roosevelt died. He said he had the honor in Jefferson to walk in his battalion behind him as they marched down for an action that was going on. He says he was too far ahead to actually meet him, but he said it was all the same, it was really good. From when he started out as a surveyor, and then they sent him to college to be a surveyor. When he got done, they didn't know what to do with him, so they sent him to England. He was in England from 1944 to 1945, and he likes to tell you that at the end of the time, everybody likes to bring home souvenirs from wherever they are. He said he has the best souvenir anybody ever had. He brought home an English war bride, and her name was Paula. They had 3 beautiful children. They have 3 grandchildren and 1 very beautiful great-granddaughter, Tatiana. She's adorable. As his life, when he came back, he joined the county down in New Jersey as a surveyor, and from there he went to traffic for 38 years. He retired, and he loves to tell war stories, meet his friends. He also likes to do woodworking, model cars, and he likes to, oh, it's not cars, it's ships. Yeah. And he loves to do anything to keep him busy. And there's probably a whole lot more you can say. His medals that he brought home, he had Bronze Star, he had 4 Bronze Stars. He had one silver, he was a sharpshooter, carbine, marksman's badge. He had Good Conduct Medal, American Campaign Medal, European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign, World War II Victory Medal, and an Honorable Service lapel pin. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. George Bosset.
Man, a few words.
I know that, so Dan's going to talk for you.
Let me talk to you, come on, we'll go up together.
All right, you go ahead.
You must be Army too, right? Marines, they're not bachelor. But I want to say, thank you for letting us honor you today. Thank you for your service to your country, but thank you also for what you do in the community day in, day out, and the people that you have inspired and changed their lives along the way. So, this is good. I get to put the supervisor to work and the county clerk.
There we go.
So, we have a proclamation and a coin for you to thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm going. Well, thank you. It's an honor. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Get home.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
And I gotta tell you, I had to bow down when I saw him because he used to beat us with his stick all the time when he walked by us. So, I do want to say it's an honor that Ralph, you were assigned in the U.S. Navy, which he did tell me a couple Marine jokes and Navy jokes, but I can't repeat them here. So if anyone wants to hear them, why Marines have tattoos on their backs after this, I'll talk to you on the side. But he did say though, why did the Navy wear, or why does the Marine Corps wear platform shoes? He said so their knuckles don't drag. I thought that was good. But I do want to say that Ralph was assigned, and this is the most important thing, and it's so fitting for the Sheriff's Department. You guys aren't loaded over there, right? Just want to make sure. But I think it's fitting for the Sheriff's Department when I was reading some of the bio on them, and I go, man, this falls into Sheriff DeFonte, Sheriff Apple, Chief Courcelle. I think it's just a lineup of the Sheriff's Department. Maybe I went into the wrong service, but it said when Ralph was assigned and preparing for D-Day in England, Ralph tells a story how he slept through an air raid and awoke to find not the building gone, but the mess hall was gone. And when I read that, I thought, how fitting, because they like to eat in the Sheriff's Department. I'm just saying, that's one thing they've never been accused of being late for us for their meals. But when he woke, he found the mess hall gone. When he returned home, he raised his family with his late wife for 68 years, and worked for Albany Med in the state for many years. But your son's here to tell your story, which I'm like, this is great, because I get to hold him back for a change. But please, Paulie, come up and say a few words for your father.
First thing I'm going to do is contact the Marines after this and talk to them about the next county executive election. Yep, I'm going to introduce my father, Ralph Courcelle, obviously a veteran of World War II, naval veteran. He served in the European theater. He told stories about the action, some of the action that he saw while in England. I don't know if he was talking about the war or the women. But he talked about the bombings. He talked about how brave the British were. He said we'd be running for the bomb shelters and the British had finished their drink and then head to the bomb shelter. He also told a story about getting a Purple Heart for a bar fight. But seriously, great generation, great father. What else can you say? And today is kind of a hard day because it's the 1-year anniversary of the death of my mother. So.
You want to say a few words? You don't want to take a shot back at him? Obviously, you didn't drop him enough on his head.
You're all, Thank you. We'll come in over.
After County Exec, we have a nice coin for you. Congratulations and thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. I say this, and I like to sound like a broken record, because you can say broken records now because they're back and kids understand broken records now. Yeah, records are back, Paul, we're not out eating track anymore, just letting you know. One of the most important things is that, I always say to my own kids, don't look up to politicians or movie stars or rock stars, professional athletes. Look next door to your, to the person living not such an ordinary life, but making a change in people's lives. Because, when kids grow up, you look around, you look at your neighbors, you look at your family, and that's what really gives you the foundation for your life. And for what these three gentlemen have done to go off and serve their country, give them the right to come home and just live a quiet life. But they didn't. They gave back. And, the one thing from that generation, and Paul brought up about the passing of his mom last year on the anniversary today, is that it's hard. You don't even see people married for 68 years anymore, or 50 years, or 40 years. It just says something about that generation. Either the attorneys weren't good back then, or the wife just hit us a lot harder. But, but it does say a lot. And it says a lot about their character. And I want to say thank you to them, and thank you to everyone that has come here and really taking the time out of their day to say thank you. Because it does mean a lot. It means a lot to veterans. They don't like it. We don't do it for the pats on the back. We don't do it for the medals. We don't do it for the uniforms other than the Marine Corps. We do it because we want to serve, and we want to serve our nation. And, that's what we do. And for them and to the families, I want to say thank you. I'm going to retire the Sheriff's Department colors. If you could all stand, please, for a minute.